Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Know it's been a while since I done a video here for the channel, and I'm sorry for that. I was feeling a bit sick in the last few weeks, but here we are again. And today we're going to talk about an Indian movie that I really enjoyed called Three Idiots. Three Idiots is a 2009 movie starring big Bollywood star Amir Khan, and it has 3 hours of runtime. But besides being 3 hours of runtime, when I watched it, I didn't even felt the time passing. Right? My brother Vinny and my friend Gabriel, they were always telling me to watch this movie, and I'm glad I did. Again, I'm glad I finally did it. And I'm glad because that's a very special movie. I now understand the hype. The movie is very funny, slapstick comedy. There, as any Indian movie, it's a musical and there are plenty of good songs. But besides all that, it's a very profound movie, and that's something very rare, right? And really, it's a shame that almost anyone here in Brazil knows this movie, that anyone in the US, for instance, knows this movie, in the Western cultures know this movie, because it is one of the best Indian movies I've ever watched, okay? Up until this moment, I really liked RRR, but now, watching Three Idiots, I already have a new favorite, right? And in this video, I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about what I liked about this movie. As always, I have to say here that I'm a writer, I'm not really a video maker. That's why my videos, they don't have the best production quality, right? But that's beyond the point. The thing is that I wrote an essay about this movie, a very long piece, over 5,000 words, and I think I only scratched the surface of it. As always, I'll leave the link here in the description for you to go read the text. It will be very pleasing for me if you read the text. If you know anyone from India here, if you're in my audience and you know anyone from India, please send this text to that person, because I think I did a okay job, okay? I had to do a lot of research to come to the conclusions I came. Now, let's talk a little bit about why I enjoyed this movie so much. And the main thing is that I'm not really interested in what the movie says. Actually, I am interested in what the movie says, but the thing that really catch my eye is how the movie says it. And what I mean by that is I'm talking here about English, that mixture between Hindi and English. For those of you who don't know the movie talks about three college students that go to study in the Imperial College of Engineering, ICE, how ironic, right? The Imperial College of Engineering in India. And, well, there they are going to study engineering. And the thing that caught my eye is that all the curriculum, all the activities, all the institutional language, all the knowledge they are evaluated on is in English. And when the characters do answer the teacher questions in Hindi, for instance, the answer is always seen as wrong. And that's because of what the movie is trying to say. And what the movie is trying to say is to do a discourse against the Rata system. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Please, if you are from India, feel free to correct my pronunciation here in the comments. The Rata system is a system where you are propelled to memorize everything. You and just memorize it. You don't. It's a system that doesn't want you to have a deep understanding of things, just that you memorize things. So you memorize definitions of what an engine is or what a machine is in English, okay? You memorize that and then you answer in the test. If you answered it in Hindi, for instance, your answer would be considered wrong. And now talking about what the movie is saying, I think that this is very interesting because the Rata system is actually a perfect example of what the Brazilian thinker Paulo Freire talks here in Brazil about the banking education system, right? That's where the title of this video and the essay come from, Three Idiots Against Banking Education. Because the movie does a very deep discourse against this type of education. That's a type of education that only is interested in you memorizing things and never really getting to the conceptual level of knowledge, right? what is at stake in the movie is the obedience to the code, obedience to English, not really your own understanding, your own education, pedagogy, In that way, the student is taught not to think for himself. I'll try not to spoil the movie here in the video. I already do it in the text, only on the second half of the text, but I won't do it here in the video because they're simply awesome musical scenes. There's one of the best musical scenes that is one of the songs that go throughout the entire movie, is resonating to the entire movie, that is All Is Well, right? It is a song that is written AALIZZWELL. Okay, so it's not All Is Well written in proper English. It's this All Is Well. All is well. This example of English, That's an example of something I have been talking here in this video, in these videos, in my blog for a long time now. It's what I call linguistic cannibalism. It's what I call meta-anthropophagy, You eat the colonizer's tongue and spit it out in your own way. And that music is a perfect example of that. But in the text I try to go beyond that. I don't stay just with Oswald de Andrade and meta-anthropophagy because I don't want to just center on the Brazilian knowledge, I actually did some research, digged in what linguistic theorists from India talked about this matter, and I found a little bit of, I found a few thinkers that could help us understand what's happening there. The first one is Braj Kachru. And he talks about the circles of English, In the inner circle, there is the English that is spoken in the core countries, like the US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, etc. Then there's the outer circle that represent countries where English was imposed through colonialism and later institutionalized as the official second language, like India, Nigeria, Singapore, Pakistan, Kenya, and the Philippines. And then there's finally the expanding cycle, that these are countries where English is getting in, like Brazil, China, Russia, Japan, because of globalization. But in those, in the expanding cycle, there isn't this imposition of English through colonialism. Another thinker that I thought was interesting to bring to this text was Homi Bhabha, and his notion of hybridity, or hybridity. And there is this very good quote from the book The Location of Culture by Homi Bhabha that I think represents all I'm talking here about: cultural cannibalism, meta-anthropophagy, and everything. I'll read it for you now. Open quotations. Hybridity is a problematic of colonial representation and individuation that reverses the effects of the colonialist denial, so that the other denied knowledges infiltrate the dominant discourse and estrange the basis of its authority, its rules of recognition. Close quotation. Isn't that what we've been describing here with meta-anthropophagy, using English to infiltrate English, using English to infiltrate the colony, Like it's a subversive use of English. Now the text is getting to an end. I would like to just talk a little bit about Paulo Freire again and the banking education, right? Because I think that this really dialogues with what we're seeing in the movie, what the movie is critiquing, that is the Rata system, right? So let's open quotations here for Paulo Freire. In The Pedagogy of the Oppressed, Freire is saying that the desire of conquest, it's only possible through anti-dialogical action and manipulation. Here's what he writes, open quotations. Manipulation, in the theory of anti-dialogical action, just like the conquest it serves, must anesthetize the popular masses so they do not think. And that's exactly what the Rata system does, It anesthetizes the masses so they do not think. It anesthetizes the future engineers so they do not think. They just act like machines. And the video is already pretty long. I'm already reaching the 10 minutes mark. So I just scratched the surface here in the video. Please go read the text. As I say, I'm a writer. I'm not really a video maker. So please trust me when I say that I wrote a very good text that you will enjoy and leave transformed. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Send this video and the text to all of your Indian friends. I would love to go to India someday. And that's it. Thank you for watching and bye.